always.
Talk about lead
Yeah.
gen. Isn't that amazing? The industry agrees with us.
I totally
What
got
do you
it.
think?
It
Maybe it's
matters.
a
It was
real
like
thing.
somebody in the office got
It is.
somebody do that every day.
I
know,
know.
Victor was in those
It
kinds of
wasn't
places.
needed.
It just confirmed everything you've been
It
telling
does.
us.
It just accumulates and breaks up balloons.
Victor.
Yeah, so he was with me, yeah.
Well, I
And
don't
I was
know.
like,
They had it.
Sorry, but
And they had all these balloons. You just go and pick the colors, like the strings going in and blow the balloons out.
Yeah, but they're,
I should do that
put it on
when
your
it
bill.
first.
When you first started, that's exactly
I don't
right.
know.
And we tell you guys, change post licensing right
But-
away, because it's about really fun.
But why don't they just charge us a monthly fee for it?
Just a call.
I'm telling you, I don't know, it's just saying.
I think you should bring it up to the events and,
Okay.
whatever committee
I
that
thought it was
is.
the ALC.
I never had a sword. You're on a, yeah, you're on a committee, right?
Your committee, yeah, the growth.
Okay, well, that would be growth. I would bring it up to somebody who's on the events committee.
That would be Ruth or Susie.
Yeah,
Okay.
and say, hey, we need a helium tank with a bunch of red balloons and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And helium, you should charge the agents, $1 a balloon, and, cause that's what they can get it for the 99 cents.
Yeah,
for.
no, I meant like just a prorated amount, cause that's crazy, you know what I mean, just, like, it costs like 2 cents if you buy like.
We are a lead with revenue company. And Terry has got to make money on everything we do.
So it's gonna be $1.
All right, let's get going. So today, we're gonna talk a little bit about Tactic 5, which is get into the table lead conversion, but we're gonna table that for a little bit. And the conversation that I wanna have around the table today is literally about what are we doing in our lead gen? What does that prospecting activity look like? And what should your prospecting activity be in this market? And so Sharon has been kind enough to come and join us because she's got 40 years in real estate and she's seen a lot of different markets change. She's seen a lot of different shifts. She's seen agents do one thing for a year and then all of a sudden they hit a roadblock and like, how come this doesn't work now? And being that she's not in the core of the team and she's not dealing with the daily drama of what we deal with, she's gonna be able to give a perception that I might be, overlooked. Well, I might not see it from an outside perspective. And so this is really a discussion about what we're doing, the complications that we're having, maybe some of the wins that we're also having. And then I kind of want to dive through that. We have 50 minutes to kind of get through that. So let's talk first about some of our successes. Like in the last month, we have really been diving into lead gen. We've been having a lot of successes. And I think where the conversations is going to go is, hey, we're really good at lead gen, and some of us are better than others at conversion, and a few of us are really good at closing. So let's talk about our lead gen activities first. Who feels like they're doing well with their lead gen? They are getting a lot of prospects. Okay.
With open houses,
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
just people are coming through. I think it's more the looky-loos though.
What does that mean?
Like people that are in the neighborhood, so they see the signs in the neighborhood and then just go, oh, I just wanna come and see what my neighbor's house looks like.
Yeah, that's the story they tell you. But what else are they? If they
shop.
live in the neighborhood, what else are they?
Sellers.
That's correct. They are sellers. They're just not sellers today. So if you want to have a pipeline of business that is gonna sustain you over the years, you've gotta capture the people that aren't doing anything for 2 years. I overheard somebody saying that their average time in their pipeline, it was Cody Gibson, I think, on the TV, it was up to 2 years in the pipeline before they did anything. So the secret to having a stable real estate practice means you've got steady income, is that you're loading your pipeline with people who are gonna do something someday.
Yeah.
Not just looking for the business
Yeah.
that's gonna happen in the
Right.
next month.
Yeah.
Which is what you do. You know why you do that? Why you do it looking for what's happening right now? Because you're all hungry.
Yeah.
You all need the money in your checking account. You don't
Yeah.
have it there. So you tend to disregard, where did he go? Aren't I answering this question?
Yeah, he just went to go grab the computer.
Oh, got it, okay. So you gotta remember, anybody who comes in your open house, people do not go to open houses as an alternative to watching football or sitting in a bar drinking beer. That is not why they go to open houses. So when they show up in an open house, there is a reason. And it may not be a reason. Most sellers, the incubation period for most sellers is about 18 months. That's when they actually start thinking about it until they actually do it. It's about 18 months. So if you're not getting into relationship with everybody that's coming in, that you can get into relationship with, then you're missing the opportunity for your business to stabilize in the next 12 to 18 months, because it will stabilize. And then you're a lot more effective as agents when you're not starving to death. Because when, for me, I put a sticky note on my bathroom mirror that said, you have $100,000 in your checking account. And the reason I put that sticky note on my mirror was because when I needed money, the clients could tell, and they went the other way. And I figured that out, and so every morning I got up pretending that I had $100,000 in my checking account, and I didn't need the business.
Commission breath.
Correct. So I interacted differently with people when I could tell myself that story. So when people come into your open house, especially if they live in the neighborhood, what you have to remember is they're sellers, they're just not sellers yet. And if you want them to know you when they become sellers, then you've got to start, you gotta put them in a CRM, you gotta start talking to them and create a relationship with them. So the looky-loo story's been around as long as I've been in business, and it's really not true. People don't just come into open houses, except kids, I would get kids in my open houses, they're not sellers, but other people, they're either sellers or buyers, they're just not ready to commit to you, or to get into a relationship with you yet. So, okay, does that shift the way you think about it? Yeah, because otherwise what you come in is you say, well, I had an open house, but they were just a bunch of looky-loos. No, those are just people who aren't ready yet.
You just don't, if they already have somebody to work with, then you just.
Well, we've taught them to tell us that when it's not true.
Oh.
Every agent they meet says, well, are you working with an agent? And they've learned that if they say yes, we go away.
Yeah.
I never ask that
Yeah.
question, ever. If they have an agent, when I go for the appointment, the agent will show up. So I never ask.
Okay.
I don't wanna know.
Cause
I
it
don't want-
changes your whole
But usually
mindset,
sometimes
yeah.
they
Well, no,
say
they
like,
just-
we already work with somebody.
They say, great, who are you working with?
Yeah.
You know what some of them say? Honey, who's that lady with the brown hair? And they don't have a relationship.
Okay.
We teach them to tell us that.
Yeah.
We teach, as an industry, we
Okay.
teach them. So I don't ask that question. I just start talking about what's important to them, and why are they there, and what do they like or not like about the house, and how long have they been looking, and my assumption is they're looking. And then they can tell me that I'm wrong, that's fine with me. I sort of had a standard opening, well, how long have you been looking? Well, we just started. Well, actually, we've been looking for 2 years. Oh, good, I don't want you as a client. 2 years is a long
Yeah.
time to actually be looking, right? So, it's all a conversation, but your assumptions determine your outcome. I had a guy in Journey to Mastery, he did the first 2 transactions just fine, took him 9 months to do the third one, he took 3 to get out of the program, right? And I asked him, I said, Dave, what happened? And he said, I was sitting at an open house one day and I caught myself looking at 2 people getting out of an SUV, saying to myself, those people are never gonna buy. And I went, oh my God, I'm deciding before they ever get in the door that I can't work with them. And it was his funky talking to him. So we make all kinds of decisions like that push people away that we don't even think about.
Who else? So, open houses, now we realize that everybody who takes the time to walk in the front door is an opportunity, and are we giving them that time?
Yeah.
And what are we doing with them before they walk out of the door?
Get them signed in and build.
Trying to make an appointment.
Try to make an
Yeah.
appointment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then nurturing them, following
Yeah.
up.
And if
putting
they
them
won't
in
make an
database.
appointment, then you wanna put them in your database. Hey, I have a group of people I
Yeah.
stay in touch with on
Most
a
of the people
monthly
I've been
basis.
working with right now is from open houses.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, well,
Well, and why is that? Because the fastest source of business is what? Nope, fastest
Oh,
source of business
sphere of
is
influence.
sphere of influence. Then, the next
Open houses.
Inspired
Inspired
business.
Yeah.
open houses,
Okay.
exactly. So they're up there in your top 4.
Yeah.
And right now, in this market today, okay, expireds are gonna drop down, okay? Open houses are buyers that are getting interested or sellers that wanna see what the competition is.
right.
So
Oh.
there's a higher opportunity with open houses.
Yeah.
And they shop for agents on an open house, so your selling skills actually matter. The extent to which you are willing to take the steps toward closing has to do with the smarter ones who are looking for an agent who has the skills to do that. They don't tell you that. I'm just looking. Oh, yeah, right. What are you looking for?
Yeah.
The reality is
Yeah,
they're
that's the first
interviewing
thing
you.
to say, yeah.
They're interviewing it, that's right.
So what are some other successes that are good for lead gen. John, talk about yours. We spent 45 minutes together talking about it.
What's the question?
What are your successes in lead gen?
Current successes?
Sure. Or, I mean, if you want to talk about your challenges, I was just trying to put a
Sure.
positive spin on the conversation to start with.
Challenges is differentiating myself in the first few words. I want them to know that I'm different, that I'm there to help them out. And
So who are you calling?
regarding our conversation, expireds,
Okay.
I want them to listen to me. So if I could find the best way to actually get them to calm down for a second and listen, I think I have a better opportunity of converting. And through that, I think I got more clarity this morning regarding our conversation. So what I'm wanting to do now is on Mondays, dial all the new expireds, and then all the people that I did talk to but didn't have success with, they told me whatever. I'm going to keep them in there unless they tell me to never call them or they free listed. I'm going to call them in a couple of days again, just trying to dig more out of them and just keeping myself top of mind. And that's kind of where I'm starting with that. If that makes sense.
So what I hear you say is you're committed to calling expireds, which right now is a very competitive list, okay? And your goal is to understand that it's a numbers game, so you have to talk to a lot of expireds. You've got to get them past the initial objection of, I'm never listing my house, leave me alone, go F off. And if they don't tell you to F off or that you relisted, your intention is to nurture them and over time show them value so that when they make the decision to start listening to an agent again, or they made the decision to think about relisting, that you are mindshare.
Yes.
Okay. So what's the opportunity there, team, and what would be the challenges of John calling expireds in today's market? Was what he
A lot of other
says.
agents that are doing it.
Everybody else is doing, most of them.
So the people that are calling expireds and having success with them are people that have been calling expireds and have been having success with them. That is their stream of business. And so you're competing with people that do 20, 30, 50, 100 deals a year from expireds. And today you have a script that says, hi, my name is John, and I know your home came off the market as multiple listing. Is that going to be the script that's going to work tomorrow? And I don't have that answer, because I don't know expireds. But what we do want to do today is we want to identify our prospecting method, and we want to identify that we're doing a really good job on lead gen, we're doing a really good job on conversion, and we're doing a really good job on closing. Like, that is the goal today in our conversations.
So let me ask you this, when you call expireds, what's their attitude?
Just don't want to talk.
Okay, so is that what they say?
No. Well, yeah, but in a more, they just, we're off the market, thanks, bye. That's not the only objection, obviously, but they're in that mindset, they don't wanna deal with anything to do with real estate at the moment.
Okay, and what do you think that means? What do you think they're really saying when they say that?
They just don't wanna deal with it right now.
Okay, so
Or with-
I'm gonna tell you up front, I didn't call expires because I was a big farmer, but I have learned over the years that when people are pissed off, they will tell you they don't wanna talk, but the truth is, they really do. They wanna dump on you all the frustration that they've
Yeah.
ever had. So if it were me, and anytime I did encounter an angry person, I would say, it sounds like you've had a bad experience with realtors, is that true? And I'd get them to tell me all the horrible stories, because you know what, I wanna know all that stuff, so I don't make any of those mistakes.
Right.
So if I get somebody who says, I hate you people, I don't wanna talk to you, I'd probably say, gee, it sounds like you've had a bad experience, you wanna share that with me? And they'll love to tell you because they're pissed off. And nobody's listening to them except their spouse, and maybe not their spouse anymore, because they're tired of hearing it. So I would just offer that as a suggestion. Get them to download all their anger and upset.
And does that fall in line with asking their why?
Yeah.
Sounds like you've had a bad experience with a realtor. You wanna tell me why that is?
Yeah, tell me what happened.
And
Because
then,
people generally aren't gonna listen to you until you listen to them. That's just generally true. in any relationship. Particularly one that's stressed, which those relationships are stressed at the get-go.
And ask yourself, whose agenda is it? Is it my agenda or is it their agenda? And get it, you want everybody that you get in front of you, whether it's a open house prospect, a door knock, a neighborhood, a networking, how fast can you make it their agenda?
What do you, can you just, what does that mean?
So you're calling them. So on the onset, it's your agenda. You know that.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by?
You're calling them wanting something.
Because you have an
Yeah,
objective.
you have an agenda, you're calling them for a reason
For
that's
something.
important to you.
How fast can you make it their agenda?
Right.
How fast can you make the phone call all about them?
Mhm.
So they wanna keep you on the phone. How
Okay.
fast can you make the person that's standing in front of you at a mixer all about them?
Therefore, or further in longer sense, just get them to talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To talk about
Yeah.
Yeah,
themselves.
people
And I-
love to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's the measurable result. When somebody walks into an open house, how much time are you spending telling them everything about the home that they're gonna see on their own anyways?
And don't need to hear it. by
They
the
don't
way.
hear And when are you going to make them being in the home all about them?
Make it a relationship.
The faster you, well, that's exactly what comes out of it, is a relationship, a rapport building. Now they believe in their mind, you walk away going, they don't even know my name, they know nothing about me. That's your limiting belief. The reality is they walk out of that house going, honey, that's the best real estate agent that I've met. You know, they are so professional, they know, it's their perception. You just sitting there nodding your head and listening to them and maybe keeping them talking. Oh, tell me more about that. Oh, that's fascinating. Why? Well, what would happen if? And just asking them a couple of little questions and getting people to talk, they're gonna walk out of that open house going, they were the best thing since sliced bread. It's so true.
It's funny though.
But we feel like we have to sell ourselves.
I agree.
And they don't, listen, people like to buy, they do not like to be sold.
Yeah.
And that's pretty universal. So the minute you find yourself selling, whether it's the house or you, unless they've done all of the talking first, you don't have an audience. They're not gonna hear you. They just don't hear you. So you just need to make, that's why my first question was, how long have you been looking? You know, how long have you lived, I happen to work in a place called Foster City, so I'd say, well, how long have you lived in Foster City? I didn't know where they lived. And a lot of them didn't live in Foster City, so they'd say, oh, we don't live here, we live in San Bruno. I'd say, oh, you're trying to get away from the fog? Because it was foggy in San Bruno, and I knew that. But it was always all about them. You know, how long have you been looking? Have you seen anything that you like? Oh, what did you like about that house? Well, did you make an offer on it? Well, what happened? I just got good at
Keep
questions.
asking
I
questions.
didn't have any answers, I just asked questions.
Yeah.
Who, what, when, why, how, and where.
Yeah,
And
with the
like you-
journalism questions.
And write this down, guys. If you don't have a piece of paper out, write this down. This was an aha about 3 months ago when I was in a class with Sharon. And she's gonna reiterate it, and basically she holds out her hands and she said, you need to ask this, Sharon. You need to